And gentlemen, let's get this going. Last week, we crushed it. The week before that, we're on a little bit of a hot streak, so you know that means we are about to crash and burn and fail miserably with our picks this week. We'll try to do our best not to, though. And of course, before we dive into this, if you have not done so already, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel as I go through and set up this live stream. And if you want to check out any of these props, of course, there are a million that we're not going to cover on this video. You can find them all right here on Underdog. Go to the link in the description of the video. Go to the link in the comment section. That will take you over to Underdog Fantasy. And on Underdog Fantasy, you can hop into some real money fantasy football drafts with us on the live stream. Y'all know we do those a ton. And with promo code FLOCK, they will match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. So make sure you take advantage of that. Available in damn near every single state. And like I said, deposit $10 with the link in the comment section. Automatically have $20 in your account. But that should be it. We are almost done setting this bad boy up. Let's pull these up. Let's send that back down. I just want to recap what we did last week because, of course, I need to be completely transparent here. Show y'all how much of an idiot I truly am. And with our first prop, I looked at Daniel Jones and said, well, you know what? The man's playing on a bum ankle. We don't even know if he would have been good to go if it wasn't for the fact that the backup quarterback is also unavailable for New York. So let's go ahead in the London game. Let's assume that he does not get to 30 rushing yards. He got to like 35, so we missed it. My fault. Maybe we overreacted to the quote-unquote bum ankle. Next game that we actually hit this one. Justin Fields under 24.5 passing attempts against Minnesota last week. Of course, Justin Fields on Thursday night just had more than this, but we took this last week against Minnesota. We also took the under of Rachaad White at 20.5 rushing yards, talking about the fact that, hell, it looked like Rachaad White, very good receiving running back, but at the same time, are we sure is going to be getting a decent amount of usage as an actual rusher? And that looked like it worked out. Rachaad White did not come close to hitting 20 rushing yards, so we hit that one as well. We missed our Breece Hall. I'm sorry. I owe everyone a massive apology for being too high on Breece Hall every single week. I mean, we took the over 2.5 receptions. Obviously, if I could go back in a time machine, we would have just taken the over at total yards or over at 16.5 receiving yards, and the man had a freaking 100 receiving yards. But now, our last one, we actually hit this last week. Curtis Samuel over 44.5 receiving yards. Y'all know we literally spent God knows how long saying, oh, Curtis Samuel, sell high candidate. Sell high candidate, sell everybody in Washington. Carson Wentz is not going to continue this level of production. Well, we were excited about Curtis Samuel because 2 weeks ago, you had no John Dotson. You had no Logan Thomas. We're sitting here going, okay, well, if you have both those players removed and it's a good matchup going up against the Tennessee Titans, might as well hit the over here with Curtis Samuel at 44.5 receiving yards. That actually hit last week. Obviously, Thursday night, he was very bad, though. Now, let's go through and let's check out our props this week. We went 3-2 last week. I think we went, if you include the free bet that we had 2 weeks ago, we went 4-6 last week. But no, last week we went 3-2 as well. Back-to-back winning weeks. Barely. But let's look at Travis Etienne here. With Etienne going up against the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, last time you had Travis Etienne in this game, remember, it was a very weird one. You had no Alec Pierce. You had no Michael Pittman for Indianapolis. They ended up getting shut out. The Jacksonville Jaguars shut them out 24-0. And in that game, Travis Etienne only had 20 rushing yards. Hell, he had, 53 total yards. Obviously, it was used heavily as a pass catcher. But now, if we are tracking the usage you've had with Travis Etienne every single week so far this season, the man is getting more and more snaps in his backfield. He's expanding that role. And I don't think that this is a similar game. I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars shut out the Indianapolis Colts. If we go and look at sports books right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars somehow are underdogs in this matchup in Indy. After shutting out the Colts, I think it's going to be a competitive contest. I think that Travis Etienne, if we see these continued trends, can get to 36.5 rushing yards. In our next under, I don't want to do this, guys. Eno Benjamin under 92.5 total. So Eno has a great matchup playing in what I think is going to be an improving offense. Like every single thing that you're looking at with Eno Benjamin with James Conner not being available, with Darrell Williams not being available, with the Seattle Seahawks giving up literally 40 points almost every single week. This Seattle Seahawks defense may be the worst defense in the entire NFL. And Eno Benjamin can catch the ball. I mean, everything here is shaping up for Eno Benjamin to have a fantastic day. And I think that we have to safely say he is a must-start player this week. He's a must-start player in fantasy football. However, 92.5 is a lot. This is saying that he's going to outscore guys like Jamar Chase. Like, this is very, very, very aggressive. I'll happily take the under on Eno, even if he's in a great spot, even if we want to start him in fantasy football. At the end of the day, it's Eno Benjamin. Are we sure we can just throw him up there as if he's some elite level guy? And now our next prop we're going to be looking at will be the Kyler Murray versus Geno Smith. So you don't know, on Underdog, they have these cool things. It's like the spread where you can bet like Jacksonville +2, etc. Well, on Underdog, you can do that with players. So what I really like here is I like the passing yards for Kyler Murray +10.5 versus Geno Smith. Now, if we go through and compare these players so far this season, I mean, Kyler Murray hasn't been phenomenal. If we're going to look at Kyler Murray, I think we also have to put context into this situation where, if you remember, week 1, Zach Ertz injured. Week 2, Zach Ertz injured. I mean, through the first 4 weeks, essentially, Rondale Moore either didn't play, and in week 4, the man was like a game time decision. Kyler Murray has been dealing with a very bad receiving core for a long time now. Kyler Murray has been in a spot where we are just sitting here going, please give me Rondale Moore. Please give me DeAndre Hopkins back soon. Well, we have Rondale back. We have Zach Ertz in here as well. And as we've discussed, it is a horrendous defense for the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith has been pretty good. Of course, Geno Smith actually has thrown for more passing yards so far this season than Kyler Murray. Let me look up the exact number. And I'm not going to lie to you. Maybe you want to stay away because I don't have a great explanation on why we're taking this +10.5. Like, Geno Smith has thrown for about 50 more passing yards so far. He's averaging about 10 more passing yards a game than Kyler Murray. The only reason I'm doing this is I'm looking at these two quarterbacks and going, come on. It's Kyler Murray. It's Geno Smith. Kyler Murray has Rondale back. He has Zach Ertz fully healthy. Hopefully Trey McBride gives us something sometime soon. Maybe they have to throw the ball a little bit more with no James Conner. And also, as we've discussed, it's a horrendous Seattle Seahawks defense. So I would comfortably take the over 10.5 total yard. I'm sorry. Kyler Murray +10.5 passing yards versus Geno Smith. And now, going over to our next line, this one's going to be Gabriel Davis under 4 receptions. Now, yes, Gabriel Davis is a must-start wide receiver for us this week. Gabriel Davis is someone that last time he played the Kansas City Chiefs, the man went through and had over 200 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. So he had 4 receiving touchdowns last time he played in this matchup, and we're taking the under on 4 receptions. I know that seems wild, but if we go through, if we look at Gabriel Davis last season and this season, can we all take a guess on how many times Gabriel Davis has had more than 4 receptions? I know we want to start him this week. I'm right there with you. And let's not even look at the past 2 seasons. Let's go through and let's look at, actually, no, we'll do the past 2 seasons because it's a little bit hard for me to count all that is rookie year as well. Can everybody guess 2021, including the playoffs in that game against Kansas City and including this season, how many games has Gabriel Davis had more than 4 receptions? 3 games. 3 games over the past 2 years. Gabriel Davis, even with giving you some spike week performances, even with Gabriel Davis crushing Pittsburgh this past week, even with them having a great week 1 as well. That was off of 3 receptions this past week against Pittsburgh, off of only 6 targets. And back in that game that he had a good performance week 1, he got to 4 receptions, but he only had 5 targets, 88 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdown. Gabriel Davis is that field stretching wide receiver that can be hyper efficient on a limited number of receptions, a limited number of targets. But to project that target volume to be here, even if it's a great matchup, like I said, I think Gabriel Davis is a must-start guy for us. But hell, even if you take the under of 4 receptions and he gets to 4 receptions, you don't lose the bet. It's just a wash. You just have to be worried about him getting to 5. But now someone else in this offense that we think can actually get there, Isaiah McKenzie. Isaiah McKenzie, on the other hand of Gabriel Davis, is pretty much the exact opposite of a player. Isaiah McKenzie never going to be giving you the big plays. Isaiah McKenzie never going to give you that 30-point bomb, but McKenzie can command targets. If you look at the last 2 weeks that he has played where you had no Jamison Crowder, the man had 4 receptions, 7 receptions. He had 15 targets as well, operating a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage as that slot wide receiver in a matchup where the Buffalo Bills should be throwing the ball very often. He's cleared concussion protocol. It's not like a hamstring where we have to be worried about him maybe pulling it halfway through the game as well. You have no Jamison Crowder. I mean, I think that if I had to make a bet on who has more receptions between Isaiah McKenzie, Gabriel Davis, probably Gabriel Davis, but obviously that's priced into the player prop. I think there's a massive difference from being an over-under at 4 and being an over-under at 3.5. If I'm starting one of these guys in fantasy, I'm starting Gabriel Davis because the spike week potential. But if I'm just chasing total receptions, I think McKenzie can maybe get there. And now, that should be it. Just go back and looking at that horrible one that we missed this past week. And of course, if you want to check out any of these player props, if you want to get into drafts with us on the live stream, they're available in damn near every single state. You can find the link in the comment section, the description of the video, the live chat. When you go deposit $10 with promo code FLOCK, they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. So, deposit $10 with the link in the comment section, have $20 in your account. Maybe you want to take the Kyler Murray plus 10.5 passing yards versus Geno Smith. I don't know what you want to do with it, but thank you again. I appreciate all the support. Hope you have a great day, and I will be live later today as well, going through and looking at the most up-to-date injury reports, as well as late tonight with a live Q&A. So thank you again. I appreciate all of you. Hope you have a great day, and hope we get to see you out in the live stream tomorrow. And we are 5 likes away from hitting 100 likes in the live stream. Drop that like.